Good evening, everyone, wherever you are listening from. My name is Ukachukwu Okorie. You're welcome to this edition of my Liberation Gospel. I thank you for joining me. I just want to make it brief, and I thank God for this day, for a renewed strength, God's courage, desire to say the truth, nothing but the truth, and for giving you the courage to listen to me. I pray that at the end of the day we will be renewed and enriched with wisdom and truth through Christ our Lord. You're welcome to this edition of my Liberation Gospel. You've seen these days I am no longer captioning it. Like I said before, there's a proverb in my place that says the bird hunter, since he keeps shooting without stopping, that when naked the bird will keep flying without perching. though my story has been is a long one since I floated Africa World newspaper. I haven't really given a full comprehensive account of what I have passed through with that here. But I still thank God that He gave me the wisdom, the audacity, and the grace to open up a platform that has done a lot, even if that we're not doing much now. Because truth, to stand for the truth, it's not easy. You will face crucibles, you will face a lot of things, and at times difficulties might make you derail, but it is all by the grace of God. As long as you are up to it, you will always pray for that grace and for that mind of steel to keep pushing hard until something cracks. And today I want to talk a bit about our renewed campaign for the restoration of the Republic of Biafra. And it is good that some of my brothers and sisters have been on the campaign. They've been on the trot for a long time, consistently. And I said it before, I appreciate the works of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu with what he is doing. And it is very important that we understand that it is not an easy work. I often tell people that even if you want to throw away the messenger, but listen to the message. And ever since we met, though at the time I just didn't follow him up, but I've been doing many things on my own, coupled with other things I've been doing. But I said it on my wall that his arrival on the scene has given audacity to our desire. It is a collective desire. It is a shared hope and journey. Why do we want the Republic of Biafra? Because sometimes it look as if, no, but I don't think so, because most of us, coming where we do come from, we know what we want. As Biafrans, and as particularly Igbos, we are always goal-oriented. We want to achieve something. We want to make it, irrespective of the hardship and the troubles, the roadblocks. We want to make it to the top. And why do we really want this Republic of Biafra? We want it to achieve our God-given goals, to have a shared time for prosperity, for the worship of our God, and to restore the dignity of Africa and man. I wouldn't want to stress much on that because if we start talking about it, my people will say Chigeji, Chigabo. Having said that, I want to point out one or two things, just sparsely, just pointing one here and there, within this 1 hour and 20 minutes I'm going to stay, or thereabout. But first of all, I just saw the UK Embassy, United Kingdom Embassy ambassador or High Commissioner announcing that British nationals and other foreign nationals, so there's a flight billed for 29th May and the 1st June. The UK High Commissioner Catriona Lang, that there's a flight on the 29th May and 1st of June, a flight that will be powered by the Virgin Airlines going to London. Then there will be another flight on the 6th of June, taking off from Abuja, but it will pick passengers from Port Harcourt to Abuja, then to London. It will be by the Titan Airways or whatever they call it. So sometimes I know recently Europeans picked up their citizens. They are doing that continuously. And one will, if you're not thinking deep, you might say, why are they doing that? After all, we've now seen that the COVID-19 case in Nigeria is more or less a business venture. I saw the video today from the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. It was supposed to be, or it's supposed to be an isolation center, but in there, nobody is there. They are just making money out of it. And across the states, we've seen that. We've seen coronavirus patients dancing away their time in isolation centers, and some of them are saying that they were told to behave, to start shaking or behave as if they have, one or two symptoms of the sickness in case they are questioned or there's any visitor. And that is the Nigeria we've been in. It is important also for us to note, as I said earlier on my Facebook wall, I've been reaching my audience via other means because Facebook has decided that I will not operate with my outfit, Africa World News. It didn't start today. They abhor, this is part of the globalist campaign. They abhor truth. When you are on truth, when you stand for truth, they will have problem with you. But they are just wasting their time. No matter whose ox is God, who will always do that. That I set up an outfit is not by my making. Though I have energy, I'm not the most intelligent person around. I have battled cases even few years ago. My office in the Dublin city center was broken into, equipment scattered away, and they tried, I don't know what they were planning, they had an attempt on my life, but unfortunately I wasn't there at that time. And up to this day, the police, the Irish police hasn't done anything. They haven't brought out a report on that, but I'm still doing my thing, pushing hard as God will want me to do. My life is in His hands. And on this issue of Biafra, I've always stood on the truth, and we are happy things are going the way it is. Nigeria is exposing itself. We've seen the charade going on in Asorok. Everyone knows there's a problem in that seat of power. But like my people will say, when the cup is full, it come maduju. Sometimes, God has a way of doing His things. His ways are different from the ways of man. If you are conversant with the Bible and think of how David killed Goliath, so you will be wondering how manage Wanza will deal with a very big board like that. So we have confidence in our God, but we'll still make our own preparations and do the needful. Like I always say, self-defense is an inalienable right for man. Even those of us who are Christians who believe in God, the Bible still instructed us that he who is surrounded by his enemy must be vigilant. And hence we shall be vigilant. As I progress in my liberation gospel. Like I said, I will point on things sparsely. I will be picking issues differently, touching one or two things. But the most important thing I keep telling people, is it not time? Is it not time you come out of the fence and take a stand? Because we have kept quiet for far too long. If we can join hands and contribute our quota, I think we will achieve success. We will reach our destination without much ado. The issue of Biafra wouldn't re-emerge. It wouldn't re-echo again like a recurrent decimal if things are okay. Look at America. America had a civil war between the North and the South, but at the end of the day, they got involved in genuine reconstruction, and it's part of a country. Yes, we may say that Nigeria was born by the British as a business empire from the time of Tubman-Goldie, the Royal Niger Company, how they put the place together for their business interest. But we could as well said, okay, let's things work out. Since the white man has gone, things can work out the way we want and for the benefit of all. But unfortunately, it is not so. We've seen a group of people, they call themselves Africans, but they don't behave like one, trying to lord it over everyone, thinking that, or saying it loud, not even thinking that they are born to rule. Why I do call the Fulani, as a historian, I'm conversant with their history. I'm conversant with the history of Nigeria. I'm an authority in Nigerian history, so I can confidently talk about them, their ways, before they act. I know what they do, and as a student leader, I was opportune and privileged to work with them. I said it in the edition of in previous editions. I said anyone who goes serving the Fulani will come back in shame. It is natural. It is on record. Anybody who goes, just like anyone who goes to serve Satan, you will come back in shame, because these people are wicked. These people are anti-human. These people, we've seen what is happening in the country. We've seen what is happening in Nigeria. Look at the regime of Buhari. From evidence, we've gotten fillers, rumors that he is dead, but they are covering up. They don't want to lose power. They just want power for being hanging their sake. They don't have a roadmap to development, to industrialization. Even during their time of the so-called Sokoto Caliphate, I've challenged the Fulanis to point out one thing they achieved with the Sokoto Caliphate, their civilization. They had no civilization. When we talk about it will look as if we hate Fulani. No, I don't. My best friend in Nigeria is a Fulani. Although we haven't been talking better, I still love him as a person because I believe in the golden rule: do unto others what it is good if it is done unto you. We want everyone to benefit, but unfortunately, my people will say, "Nah, tagino, when I chew and spit on your chest, you chew your own and spit to get my eyes blind." That is what they're doing, and they've intimidated us far too long. The intimidation has gone too long, and it is time to call a spade a spade. We are not talking about war. We are not interested in waging war against anybody. We just want to have our liberty and do what we love doing, and that is staying among ourselves, achieving limitlessly, because we know we are talented to do that, and worshiping our God in the way He created us to do. The Fulanis are bad. The Fulani, especially the Nigerian Fulani, they are bad. They are bad in the sense that they think only about themselves. They think about enslaving, that their system, the feudalistic system, enslaving every other person. And for them to be at the top. But the worst thing is that they are spendthrifts. They just keep spending and spending without plan. They cannot plan. They don't know how to plan. Like I said, they don't have a civilization in the country. No record of civilization. Even at defeating the Habe rulers, defeating the Hausas. They never achieved anything. The Hausas built states with their 7 Gobe, Kano, Katsina, before Osman Danfodio now deceived the son of the Habe ruler he was teaching and mobilized his people with Hausa peasants and turned against the rulers with the deceptive factor of corruption, what they're doing today. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, they find themselves, there are smart people. We are smart, but we cannot be deceived. Even if some of us, some stupid ones among us want to be deceived, the Biafrans cannot be deceived. Igbos can never be deceived. We even have problems among ourselves, especially when you build your life on lies, let alone someone who keep lying all through his life without achieving. They have nothing to show about themselves. They can't achieve. Naturally, my people are inspired by achievements. That's why I always say that the Igbos have the greatest philosophy in life, because you can rise from nothing to become something, and that is a drive, is a big drive for mankind. We've seen that in many of our life, and that is our worldview. Someone can just rise from nothing to become something, and that is the problem we are having with Nigeria. So why do we want a Republic of Biafra? We want a Republic of Biafra because Nigeria has disappointed. Nigeria is a shadow of itself. The Fulani has wrecked Nigeria. You see their deceptive attitude. They always use it. When you complain, for instance, now if you're a Nigerian and complain about what is happening in the country, particularly in your state, they will direct you to your governor and say, after all, are you not getting the allocation others are getting? What is your governor doing? But on the other hand, you see the kind of elite they've imposed on us since the end of the Civil War. Nigeria started getting down since the end of the Civil War. They came and imposed a new leadership on us by rigging elections, falsifying everything in the country. The country is on a wrong footing. The population, you will see broad daylight, conk lies. And we see these things. We can't talk because of the fact that they control the barrel of the gun. They use divide and rule, the same British tactics to keep pushing. How many are the Fulanis? The Fulanis are just a handful of people. The Hausas in Nigeria don't even have that. But there are many tribes in Nigeria. The major three tribes are the Hausas, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. And if you check geographically of vegetation, you see that they have arid land that is full of hunger. It's a place that you can't grow crops. And normally, you see, in the course of mankind and humanity, man moved towards a vegetative belt where they can grow food, where they can find animals to eat, where they can, a fertile, a rainy rainforest belt. I mean, most animals thrive on edible animals, on a vegetative belt. The same with food crops. But in Nigeria, population, they keep telling us that they have the population. And that brings me to an article I just saw. I saw it online earlier today, and it was interesting to me. I said, let me read this article by one Dr. Nemeka Onyeka Obiareri. He talked about the population fraud in Nigeria. Many of us do know about this population fraud. Yes, and that brings me to the time of Jonathan. Often we have always said Jonathan is a hero of Nigerian democracy, but honestly, anytime I remember Jonathan, I feel so sad. I feel so sad in the sense that the man sent us 20 years back, 20 years behind. Because, okay, look at what Buhari did. In as much as in a sane democracy, what Jonathan wouldn't have even emerged from day one. Obasanjo and co, they just threw him up because he was weak. Because best guys never lead Nigeria. You see the best brains in Nigeria, they are looking for the shortest cut to leave the country. Or they just mind their business in Nigeria because the political terrain is murky, is turbulent, is violent. They don't want to get involved. You see, just common elections, people must die. Broad daylight, they will just come and snatch off the ballot box and stuff it in. And if you say rubbish, they will shoot you. And, you know, many people wouldn't want this kind of. And how will the best emerge? That was how they took Jonathan. I know Jonathan is a good man from Alamesia, made him his deputy, and destiny found favor, found him favorable. He became governor, and from governor he became deputy president. And he saw how Yaradua died. Yaradua died, and if it was not the strength and the courage of an Igbo Amazon, Dora Akonyele, what we are seeing today will still have happened then. It was Dora Akonyele as information minister. So look, I can't take this again. She just came out and spewed the whole thing out. Spewed the beans and said, look, this is not right. And that is why today, look at the cabinet. All the security apparatus are all northerners. They don't want it to be mixed. They don't want their secret to leak. And that is why it's taking divine revelation to begin to tell the truth of what is happening in Asorok. Everyone knows that something is wrong there. But Nigerians have been cowed. Nigerians have been intimidated. Long time. Nigerians are cowards. Nigerians are afraid to talk. We see what happens in the broad daylight. We see that in policies too. And you see, while these things are going on, you still see some of our people. They want us to let go. Let's go. Let's go. This was how the Hausas. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And today, where are the Hausas in Nigeria? Some of us who are historians, we've written books, we've written articles, we've talked many times, but it needs a different tactics. And that tactics was brought in by Nnamdi Kanu, which is kind of abusive word. Why won't they be abused verbally? I mean, are they not abusing us? They are killing us daily. People are saying this guy is abusive. You don't have respect for our elders. Who are the elders? The elders that have mortgaged our tomorrow. The elders that are ruining the country. The elders that will keep quiet when things go wrong. Our people will say in Igbo proverb that okenye agaghị anọ n'ụlọ ewu amụọ n'ọgbụ. You cannot have an elderly person and the goat will deliver instead. But that is what is happening today. And they keep crucifying. They try to paint the young man bad. At least he's terrible. But the message is conk. What is the message? The message is that Nigeria is a shadow of itself. When I say shadow, shadow is even moving. Nigeria is a wreck. Nigeria is a disgrace to Africa. And you and I do know that. Unfortunately, some of our people want to take it. They want us to take the rubbish that is happening. How can we keep swallowing this rubbish? You discuss with your friends abroad. They'll look at you. When you reason, they'll respect you as a Nigerian. But when they look at your leadership, it's all about disgrace. It's disgraceful. You will be ashamed to answer a Nigerian. So why are we sitting on the fence? Why do we want the restoration of the Republic of Biafra? I mean, nobody can do it for you. If you want to be a slave, you can be a slave. It's up to you. But if you say no, enough is enough. I remember there's a song, it's a Catholic song. I remember when we used to live at Ebema. I don't forget that song, but I never heard it again it's a Christian Catholic song. They said, Agaghị me abuko hozo, Obara Jesus emewo kampuo nohu. In this case, the same blood of Jesus has made them not to be a slave again. But what I'm trying to say, it's up to you to say you cannot be a slave. Your children cannot be a slave. You see, us that are Igbos, we don't want to be poor. We want to work hard. We want to feed our family. We want to be kings in our home. We want to be the breadwinner in our home. But it is up to you. Because these things are natural. That's how God created it. If you are not the breadwinner in your family, it will take an angelic wife to give you all the manners, or the degree of respect that she is feeding you. These things are natural. These things are human. It is up to us to say, look, enough is enough. And we work together. We want a Republic of Biafra because we want to be respected globally. We want to graduate from school and get a job. We don't want to come abroad as cleaners of toilets, road sweepers. You see an imbecilic white man insulting you because he thinks that is better than you. But all these things are because of your leadership. Because if you have a good leadership, if your country is respected, look at China that was poor the other day. Now, the respect is coming. Look at even though everyone is accusing them of spreading COVID-19, they're playing politics with it. The country is going about for dashing people, assisting, finding a way to push in. They've sent satellite to the orbit, seizing their destiny, controlling it. Look at today, all of us are hooked to Twitter, Facebook. It's as if we cannot even do these things. But we don't have a satellite on the orbit. We haven't achieved our political independence. If we achieve our political independence, then we will begin to realize our God-given potentials. Because these things, I once talked to a group of people. I said, look, these Scud missiles you people talk about, my people do it locally. You know what in my place, what you call Mponala? When a titled person dies, they shoot that Mponala. You know? If you put physics and electronics to it and give it a time range, it becomes a missile. We showed a bit of that during the Biafra Nigeria Civil War, what we can do. We want a Republic of Biafra because we don't want to be perpetual buyers. We want to manufacture what we use. We can do that. We want to empower our people. We want to spread the wealth. We have modalities and modules. I listened to one Oyibo man who was talking about the Igbos having the largest business incubation program in the world. He was giving an instance with Alaba market. All these things we neglect are important. That's our system of shared prosperity. In as much as people will say we are not united, the Igbos are not united. Nobody is more united than us. But the problem is that there are some misplaced priorities we get involved in. You can never achieve big time without your political independence. That America became a world power was because they were the first to throw the atomic bomb. And it was the greatest weapon at that time. Japan was a world power then. Immediately they threw one in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world stood still. They knew that they've arrived. Look at countries that have it now. Your threats on them will have limits. You have to be strong. You have to make sacrifices. If we don't make sacrifice, is it not the Christian that said that the kingdom of God suffereth violence and only the violent take it by force? How can you harvest when you did not plant and weed? You got so here. Koubo. You have to pass through these things. And yes, that the fact that we lost a civil war does not mean that we will not demand our God-given rights. I mean, the Fulanis are not bigger than us, but all these things is in the psyche. I was booted out in a group today, a group of NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students, ex-leaders. They removed me from the group. I was just laughing. Do you know what? The person that removed me from the group was an Igbo man, or is an Igbo man. My very good big brother In fact, my mentor, I learned student politics from him. But I said, look, enough is enough. Our generation, we have a battle. We have a generational challenge. We must restore the dignity of our people. We must get our political independence. It must happen. Because we believe in justice. That we failed before does not mean this time it will be different. We are not calling for war. No. Rather, we say self-defense. We must defend ourselves. Then if the enemy try to annihilate us, we shall respond. And this is why everybody must be mobilized. Everybody must be mobilized. Thank God we are everywhere in the world now. We have millions abroad. So if Nigeria think they have the money, we can fund any struggle. We can fund any struggle. We have thousands of our people in this small Republic of Ireland, let alone. I digressed. I saw an article on the population fraud in Nigeria. The population fraud in Nigeria. And each and every one of us do know that the Nigerian population is fraudulent. We know that, but we just keep quiet. When something that is bad is, if you keep quiet at a bad deed continuously, if you don't talk, it becomes a norm, a culture. I loved what Dr. Onyeka Obiaredi wrote. He gave statistics, and which, to a same person, you will understand. He talked about population fraud. Now, remember, what's the name of them? Festus Odumegu, was I think the former managing director of Nigerian Breweries, who was appointed by Jonathan Goodluck as the population chief. He was later removed. Was he appointed by Jonathan or Yaradua? I think it was Yaradua. He was removed by Jonathan. You see, that is some of the decisions Jonathan took. And I said that man sent us back 20 years behind. Because that man, Festus Odumegu, I think, they say he had, from sources, he had, from Suka, he had first class. Was he in mathematics or statistics? So he's grounded in that. He uncovered the population fraud in Nigeria. There was no data in that country. No data. He was about exposing that, and the North brought pressure and was demanding that Jonathan remove him. And what happened? Jonathan caved in and removed the man. I think, Festus Odumegu. Some of you will know him. Festus Odumegu. He's from, I think, Olo area, so. Ochasiato. Now, coming back to Dr. Nnameka's population fraud. He gave analysis with Chad. Remember Chad, Niger, and Nigeria. They are on our northern border. And Chad, they have 1.2 million square kilometer in land. Their land mass. They are 100% Islam. And you know that they have Hausas and Fulanis there. They are brothers to Nigerian northerners. I mean, core north, particularly northwest. the same culture and everything. But Chad is 13 million. Chad is a country, but they are 13 million in population. 700,000 are found in their capital, in Jamena. That is Chad. Then, one second. Then Niger that you know, they have 1.2 million square kilometers. The same with their Muslims, their brothers to Hausas and Fulanis. They share the same culture and everything. Niger is peopled by 18 million. 18 million Nigerians. 13 million Chadians. Then cross the border into northern Nigeria. They have 614,000 kilometer square kilometer. Unlike Chadians and Niger, you saw what the Chad military did. They just crossed in over a day or two. They just wasted Boko Haramites. Since then, have you been hearing about Boko Haram? Except all this their propaganda by Nigerian mainstream newspaper saying 40-something were killed. This thing were in one day or two. They finished more than 1,000 Boko Haram militants. Killed them off. Took 40-something to their destiny. And they were poisoned. If you remember. The ones in prison. The Nigerian soldiers now came in and poisoned them so that they will start calling names. We know what they can do. Chad has 13 million. Niger has 18 million in population. Then, coming to the north, the Fulanis are telling us, remember, one, illiteracy, bad administration, they don't have anything working. Look at, I just mentioned the Kano Isolation Center at the Sani Abacha Stadium. You go there, nothing. These people are fraudulent. They're just spendthrift. Spend. You know when you have somebody who just wants money, spend. Fraud. Everything is fraud. They don't even want to plan on how to save or build infrastructures or organize. They just keep bringing the money. They are oil. That is long throats on oil. That's oil money. Nothing more. They said they are 90 million. 90 million. They said there are 90 million. And their population drive or falsification, they used it over the years with the British. They connived to falsify this population. And finally, you know where it helped them? On the derivation formula. On how to share Nigeria's money. To tell, it's all about money. Nigeria has 36 states. Some of these states are just like Oluku, stupid states. They shouldn't even exist. They are just burden on the coffers. And you see, look at Zamfara, them. Look at nonsense states. Will you compare them to vibrant states in the south? From day one, we have always known that the north was added with the south in the 1914 amalgamation. Because they are a burden. The British were looking for, man, how can they be bringing money? How can they be bringing money to run this place when they are here to make money? No, we can't continue that. We better match these people. They came and merged the Southern Protectorate with the Northern Protectorate in 1914. And since then, look at what we are seeing today. People that you shouldn't even have any contact with, they should just stay on their own. Now, you see, if we talk, they will say, why are we, that we are extremists? No. Because they say if your right hand, how do Christians say that? If your one of your fingers is going to cause you to not get into heaven, you better cut it. These people actually should even be watching us on the television. They should be watching us on the television to organize that. Instead, they are drawing us back. Drawing us back. They keep drawing us back. Look at today. Look at the people in charge of the country of Nigeria. And they've been in charge of Nigeria all this while. Spendthrift, squandering money. Look, 1958, Nigeria discovered oil. From them up to this, what have they achieved with such massive cash that have come in through the oil? It's just from one squandermania to the other. And when you talk, the next thing they will say, your people are, after all, Ojo Zokalo has gone to prison. This one, Olisa Metu, has gone to prison. Like I told you, they came and imposed the wrong elite on us since the end of the Civil War. They propped up people among us. And that's why you see, today I said earlier, they removed me from a Nance group. There were two admins there. One was Igbo, who I even call my Oga when we used to play student politics. But they used him to remove me. So I was just laughing. I told him that I'm going to remind him of this date. And this is the problem we are suffering. They use our people against us. And that's why you see them putting their people strategically in every ministry or parastatal that cash will come out. Look at the MPA, Nigerian Ports Authority. Go and cross-check the list of the MDs of the Nigerian Ports Authority and see who have been in charge of the Nigerian Ports Authority. That Nigerian Ports Authority rake in billions, rake in millions of dollars daily. But these people just getting the money, keep squandering, squander the money, no plan, no infrastructure. They just want to share money, sharing money, nothing more. Forgetting the fact that if you lay good foundation, build necessary infrastructure, educate the people, then they will be resourceful and give back. Because of that oil money, Nigeria, the taxation system don't even work. Not up to 30% pay taxes in Nigeria. Many of the countries we've traveled to in the Western society, they don't even have natural resources. They all depend on taxation. And they spread the wealth. When you spread it, economics is, when they talk about economics, it's a very simple thing. You have to empower the people. Manufacture. We import virtually everything. If care is not there, we'll even import water. If, of course, Nigeria, the records have been there. They imported wine. Are you not aware that Nigerian elite import pizza? You see, this population fraud, Now, they brought it on. And in 1970, they made population as one of the yardsticks for revenue derivation. That was at the end of the war. Because of the Igbos, the hatred of the Igbos, a lot of policies came up in Nigeria. Decree 13 of 1970. From what was on during the regional system. Because during the regional system, the derivation formula was, you manage, every region manages its resources. And that was what, why you see at the regional level, much impact were made. The West built the first television in Africa with their cocoa. Opera did marvelously well, citing industries strategically in the East. Even in the North, they were doing well with their granite pyramids. But their eye were in that oil. Immediately, oil was discovered in commercial quantity in 1958. The British and their boy started planning. They love feudalism. They want people to serve them. They want people to be slaves. They started plotting on how they would change everything. And what we played into their hands. And that's, they changed the whole setting in 1970. From that 1970, can you imagine? It was 50%, 50% on equality of states and 50% on population in 1970. But today, do you know the percentage today? From that 50%, even at the end of that war, because the Nigerians were not used to such, but boldly they had to do it and push it from regions controlling their resources into giving the central government a large chunk of allocations, 50% in 1970. Today, it is, when you talk about natural resources, it's 13% derivation to the owners of it. And that's why you see an Alhaji who can't even spell his name have millions of dollars. The other day, a small boy of 20 something years does nothing. Come abroad here. Many of us are abroad. We work our ass off, doing many jobs, to borrow money, get loans to do our masters and run our PhD programs. You see them, they come in here, squander our money, and still brag on top of it. And that's why you see they don't want Nigeria to divide. When you talk about Biafra, they start shivering with their cohort in the West and few of them in the East too. They want it to continue. They want the status quo to continue because it's benefiting them. And that's why you see sufferings, abject poverty in the midst of plenty. And that's why today we are practicing fiscal centralism, as you would call it in government, whereby the center, everybody wants to go to Abuja. Ndioma non Abuja. Abuja controls everything. You see, everybody wants to go to Abuja. Our young girls wants to go to Abuja. When they finish school, they want to run to Abuja. They want to do youth service in Abuja, so that some of them who are lewd will go and look for one Alhaji. An Alhaji that knows nothing. He's a permanent secretary of one parastatal. Place them on salary, squandering our money without anything. Look at Abuja. Go fly on air. The first time we went to Abuja from school, when I was in first year or so, we marvel. I say, God, look at where they're wasting our money. And in the East, we suffered. Despite the fact that we weren't born during the war, where the generation after the Civil War, we still felt it. Our parents went through the nose to pay our school fees. Some of us did extra things. Many couldn't go to school because they didn't have anybody to take care of them. Some of our girls went haywire in order to meet up. Even abroad today, we've seen many of us languish in jails, getting involved in drugs and many things because they don't have the chance to make it. Many don't even have the papers. We are not respected, and the society, the orientation has changed. You must make it by hook or by crook. If you don't make it, nobody's going to respect you. Nobody is going to give you your way. Derivation formula changed in Nigeria. Right from 1946, when it was talked about by a commission, if you follow it sequentially from pre-colonial times, before independence came, even though we talked about the white man, the white man, at least they respected us to an extent. Post-colonial times is been the worst nightmare for Africa. In 1946, they talked about this derivation thing. Well, that was the first time they discussed it, and by one British commission called Philipsons. And it was decided that every region must control their resources and now contribute to the center. Then when oil now came in 1958, it was a big thing. It was a big boom. It helped regions to develop hastily. That's why you see some of the industries built during that period. You still see them, some of them today, except that all these military and stupid idiots we have today as leaders have wrecked. You know, they keep amassing wealth. You will imagine, what are they going to do with this? Somebody will just they'll just build gigantic buildings that at the end of the day, you still sleep in one room. Lining up 10, 20 cars. Sprawling estates. Somebody will just wake up and become a billionaire. You'll be wondering, is it not this person that just went to serve in the public office? Nobody asks questions. And this is the Nigeria we live in. And distance change people's orientation. No longer, hard work is no longer respected. From that Philipson commission, they keep sustaining that regional format in derivation formula. Until 1964, there was a beans commission too, and it sustained it. Then when the Nzogu Q fell, that was where things started changing a bit. You see why we blame Ironsi? Ironsi enacted a decree that brought about unitary system. They set up an interim committee called the DINA committee. But Nigerians then weren't used to the center controlling. I want you to check. You can check on the internet and see the kind protests that followed Agui Ironsi's takeover. And the echoes of Araba, what they call Araba in the north, they said no, they don't want it. They don't want to be part of Nigeria again. The agitations of Araba continued until 6 months after Nzogu's coup, in which Ironsi took over. And the north now came in, massacred all Eastern region soldiers and took over. And now cemented what Ironsi started. It was from there the war broke out. Then that war now gave them the audacity, the authority to change all the formats, including this derivation formula, and sustaining the fraud that have continued to pervade the political map of Nigeria. The decree came out, Decree 13 of 1970, whereby they now said it will be 50-50, something that haven't happened in Nigeria. But you know, the people that will usually talk were defeated in a war. It became 50% each for the states, 50%, and on population. They now falsified, they've been falsifying population. They now said Nigeria's fiscal allocation will now be shared based on population and land mass. You can imagine. You know, go and look at the map. They have more land mass than we. So they now use it as allocation formula. And the resources, they made it that it will be onshore, because most of the oil that are drilled in Nigeria are onshore, on land. These people are very lazy people now. They just want where the money is already there. They start embezzling. These things are why we want out of Nigeria. When we talk about it, it's not, we've given in everything. We've done everything to make the country work. When you talk about who is a Nigerian, we are the nationalists. We are the people that get across every nook and from Katsina Allah to Ebaroke, to Birinin Kudu and Birinin Kebi, I did my youth service in Sokoto. I was surprised when I read. I said, man, these people, these Igbo people, they built their own houses. You can imagine. Then, although I was marveled in Sokoto, you know, Sokoto is their seat of power. The first time I went to Sokoto, that was my youth service. I said, God, is this place Nigeria? The trees, the streets were laid out. But unfortunately, the buildings were scarce. The nicest buildings there were government edifice and military personnel. We went to the local government, nothing to do. At the local government, nothing to do. They just come in when allocation comes at the end of the month. They just share the money and leave. Honestly. Nothing to do. Whereas if you come to the south, if you come to the east, to see a local government chairman then, it was a big deal. But in the north, there's nobody in the local government. And they have more states. The northwest particularly have 7 states. I'm not even talking about the north east before you talk about the north central. They have more states. States that are not viable. Places, they are naming their towns as states. Like the Emekuku now, the Emekuku state, Isuku Ato, Isukwato State, on it, in our own, they will just park. And they used landmass as revenue derivation formula. When you look at that, you would think they have arid land. You need to travel to the north. Travel to the north, you will drive hours before you even see collection of thatch houses. Not even clustered, they concentrated in one place. You will be asking yourself, I have debated this with many guys. They will say, no, they have many wives. I said, it's a lie. At the time, I was a mediator when we were doing student politics for the Southeast. I was the middleman between the North and the Southeast. So I studied them. But unfortunately, we've refused to continue in this bondage and perpetual slavery. We cannot continue. And this is why we want out. Peter Nahoro, a journalist, just on Arise TV, I saw his statement. Everyone is tired. Everyone is tired of the Fulani machinations. Everyone is tired, but people are afraid. Why are we afraid? I mean, we have to tackle this issue head on. If we don't do that, nobody is going to do that. Our children will grow up and keep discussing, and it will be worse. Check out during the time of our fathers, it wasn't as bad as this. But since 1972, now, how many years? Many of our women were taken as emotional trophies. The children they had with all those military guys and all those also, many of them are the ones trying to puncture our organization and unity. Trying to cause, you see them, and some of them are answering okay. Some of them are even, their mother taught them, they are using them against us. These things, they did it to the Hausas. Usman Danfodio was born in Gobe. He grew up there. He was raised there. In fact, he worked in the palace of one of the Habe rulers, Hausa rulers. He taught the princes. And he had access. This is what they are doing to us. Look at, they took over Hausas and now used Hausas to conquer neighboring tribes, Nupe, all those small tribes. They even conquered half of Yoruba land, but with religion. Look at Ilorin. I've been to Ilorin. At the Emir's Palace, Sulu Gambari, he used to be the chancellor for my school. When I led my students there. These are Fulanis. They are ruling Yoruba towns. And originally, Fulani migrated from Guinea. But look at, they are running everything in our country. They want to enslave everyone. They said they will dip the Quran in the sea. And that's why you see, in the whole East, there's no ports. They don't want any ports to be there. They want us to. They rule with hardship and poverty. Go to Hausa land and see what I'm talking about. Nobody's talking about the massacre that goes on every day in Kaduna. When we hear Kaduna, we think Kaduna, the majority in Kaduna are Christians, are the southern Kadunas. But they want to push them out. They'll just come into a village and massacre like 100. They don't care, even newborn babies. These people are bloodthirsty. Unless we match them, in their own way, they will continue intimidating us. They want to intimidate everybody, tell you that, look, they will kill you, and they are unforgiving. Are we going to run away from our fatherland? Eh? Why are we afraid? They used to look at, now it's worse, it's even worse. In broad daylight, policies are orchestrated to favor them, and they don't even care. Look at, governance is now a secret thing. They're using intimidation on everyone. The so-called Buhari, whether he's alive or dead, can't even come out to address Nigerians. Nobody's asking questions. Playing one tribe against the other. The Yorubas, they have empowered a handful of the Yorubas, especially the Muslims among the Yorubas, using them against the Christians. And the ones that cause them themselves the Christians, they can't even talk. The Adeboyes, all of them, what is it? Bakari, cool. They float big churches. What they know is just floating big churches. They can't even stand up. Their brothers are Muslims. Their brothers can't talk. You see, the Yoruba and even Southerners are in the same church. But when it comes to our political independence, they will now remember you are Igbo. And this is why we have to start changing. It's not about telling people to keep praying. Look, God empowered his people to defend themselves. The children of Israel, they fought a war. They defended themselves. Because if you don't defend yourself, the enemy will swoop you away, will annihilate you. We are dealing with monsters. We don't even want to restructure. They are talking about restructure. Look at election. APC brought out Buhari. PDP brought out Atiku. Decent Fulani people. Minorities. They don't even have the population. So assuming now power goes to PDP, another Fulani will take it. This is what we have been suffering in that country. And people are not seeing it that way. When you talk, they say you're a radical. But these things are true. They are the same people. They are the same people. They know what is happening. You see why now you should be supporting the messages of Nnamdi Kanu. That he's saying the truth. They're trying to demonize him because he's the most potent voice for this march towards restoration of Biafra. And they want to dim that voice. If they dim that voice now, we start afresh. That is what they want to do. And this is why we must not allow them. Whatever it, even if many countries we are in, there must be, sacrifice must be laid. People must pay sacrifice. It's natural for the future generations to benefit. So why must we be selfish? You just want your own. You don't want the generality of the people to benefit. So why do we want Republic of Biafra? We want it because Nigeria is irredeemable. Nigeria is irredeemable. There's no need. There's no need wasting our time. My people will say, because the foundation is faulty. Oil and water can never mix. Oil and water can never mix. And they've divided us for far too long. You see, in my pages, I said I'm going to start bringing out information. And no matter what Facebook and co try to derail us, they started it already with Africa World. They closed my page I ran for 9 years. They just closed it in 2018. I just started this one 2018, and that page was the mother of 22 different pages that we had different media products on their platform. And this is why we need a Republic of Biafra, so that we can do our own thing. We can achieve our God-given goal. It is their platform, so they do whatever they want. If we have our own platform, we express ourselves. They don't want us to shame them, including Oyibo people. Some of them who are at the helm of affairs. They don't want a Republic of Biafra because we will put them to shame. They know. All the things they think that is magic. Look at common COVID-19. We have guys who have brought out vaccines, herbal vaccines. Nigeria doesn't want to talk to them. Every day they want to borrow. They want to borrow. Borrow money. We said, why are you borrowing this money? They don't. This is like devil ruling your life. Devilish people. They don't want you to be free. So what do? You must find by any means necessary to achieve your liberty. And that's what we want to do. It's terrible. We want a Republic of Biafra because we want to reach the top. We want to do our thing. We want to be happy. We don't want our children to serve anybody. We want to exercise our God-given talents. We want to rejoice in our God. I mean, we are religious, yes. No doubt about it. That is who we are. We want to serve our God. Praise Him. And use that platform and our land to show the world that there's nothing like God. Nothing is like our Father in heaven. We praise Him in our most beautiful ways. We love doing that. And anybody who say we don't have conscience, then the person is a liar. Anybody who is against us, then you know that the person is devilish. Nigeria is evil because we know that the country doesn't mean well for us and our children. They've shown that in many ways. We must stop sitting on the fence. It is time to spread the message. It is time to inform your neighbors and your friends. It is time to go in and argue it out. It is time for intellectuals, if you call yourself one, to come out and it's justice we seek. We are not doing abracadabra. We are saying the truth, the right thing. Nigeria is not working. It will never work. There is no need beating about the bush. It will never work. We know it will never work. And we are impatient for success, knowing fully well that we have the ability to do these things. Notwithstanding that our foes doesn't want the world to believe in us. We are aware of our capability. We know what we can do. That is why we want a Republic of Biafra. We don't want a Republic of Biafra for the sake of my country. Some people say it's going to be like South Sudan. No, it is not going to be. It is not going to be. Nigeria know that we are the salt of the country. The country will be tasteless without Biafrans. particularly Igbos. But they don't want us to fix the country. So why should we? Instead of us being with feudalists, people who like a slave, look at the Hausas. The Hausas are perpetually down as slaves to the Fulanis. Go to the north and see what's happening. They've intimidated them. They've caged them with Islam. They use Islam to cage them. But these people are evil. And that's why you see, during the Kenan Bonum time, when Usman Danfodio came in, he wanted to take over. The Mai, then the ruler of the Kenan Bono, now appealed to other Muslims in other empires and said, look, if this man is sincere that he wants to bring spread jihad to his conquered places, we are already Muslims. Why does he want my territory? The Fulanis have ulterior motive. I know that. I'm a historian. And that's why you see they're bringing their people. Look at them, ferrying in fighters into the east. Some of our people who are stupid. But anyway, I always argued, many of us, although we may not know who our father is, if there's DNA test, you will now see that many people you call your brothers are not even your brothers, because they don't think. They don't think like Igbos. They say, no, this is okay, leave them. Leave them. They're looking for what to eat. Looking for what to eat. Why there's a lockdown? National lockdown. Looking for what to eat. They are hiding in trucks. Looking for what to eat. The other day, 400 and were waylaid. Able-bodied men. Looking for what to eat, or most of the roadblocks are mounted by them. Looking for what to eat, the DPO, the security personnel are all handled by them. They are plotting. They're using different strategy for us, but we must be vigilant. Especially those in abroad. We must begin to, not when it starts now, we start shaking. A stitch in time saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9. We must understand that. Thank you for listening to me. That is my message in this edition of my Liberation Gospel. I am Ukachukwu Okorie. God bless you.